Courtney's question, I tried reading my car insurance policy, but I don't really understand it. What are the most important details I need to educate myself about? Great question. Lorelei, you want to answer?
Yeah, so as I just mentioned, uninsured motorist coverage is one that you should be aware of. I actually have a deck page in front of me that I brought out. And I guess that's the most important thing I think you should find within your policy paperwork is what we refer to as the deck page, but it's called the declarations page. And that's going to list out your liability, which is going to be what would cover somebody else's injuries if you're at fault. The minimum in Mississippi is $25,000 per person. The per accident would be a different amount. And so, you need to determine how much risk you're willing to take if you're the person at fault. And so, that's a tough number to give you. I would think that, maybe more than $25,000 would be a good idea. Maybe even $100,000 would be the best. And then you have property damage, which is just what it says. That's going to be the amount of money that's going to cover somebody else's property if you're at fault. And then the uninsured motorist part of it, which is going to cover yourself if somebody else's insurance can't cover you. And so there you want to have as much insurance as possible, more even than you have to cover somebody else.
All right, 3 great points. Did you want to add anything, Harry?
Yeah, let me just say, I'm amazed that, a lot of people don't know what kind of coverage they have. They don't understand it. And they don't realize for just a little bit more money per month, they can have, as Lorelei said, uninsured motorist coverage. But you also, it is considered underinsured motorist coverage. So if you're involved in an accident with someone and there's just an inadequate amount based, on your injuries and your damages are so great, then you have that insurance that you can use to protect you. And back to the liability, you want enough insurance based upon your assets or whatever fits your financial situation, because that's the money that the insurance will cover you for if you cause a wreck. So if you have a lot of assets and you want to protect them, you want a lot of liability insurance coverage, so that if they sue you, if you cause a wreck and someone sues you, the insurance will only pay for the coverage that you have contracted them for. And so you want to have a lot, so the insurance company will be able to pay a lot more back to protect your assets. Uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage, you want at least $50,000 because, and without getting into details, there's things called offsets and whatever. If you have the minimum and the other person has liability and they have the minimum, it'll offset. You can't use it anyway. So you want to have at least 50,000. But you can also take uninsured motorist coverage and stack it. Meaning if you have more than one vehicle in your household, you can take all those coverages and lump them on top of one another. So if you have more than one vehicle, just understand you can do that as well. And you want to have good uninsured motorist coverage on those vehicles as well.
All right. Thank you so much for your advice there.